Hey, what's up, everybody? As we were just sliding into the weekend, I had somebody make an off-the-cuff remark about the fact that it was Friday the 13th. Like, you know, oh, I hope something bad doesn't happen on Friday the 13th. And I'm like, bitch, it's been like Friday the 13th every day for the past 2 years, in case you haven't noticed. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Cut World, according to Kyle, podcast. How's it going, everybody? How are you? How are you doing? It's been a while. As always, you can find me on your major social media networks. If you have a question for the show, slide into my DMs on one of the following. You can find me on YouTube, at Kyle Max, on Twitter, at Kyleverse, on Instagram, at KyleMax86, on Facebook, at Kyle Max, and on Reddit, at TWA2K. Once again, questions can be sent to my DMs. If you're looking for me looking for the TWA2K, the most recent or past TWA2Ks, you can find them on YouTube at The World According to Kyle. You can find me on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Castbox, Deezer, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, and GeoSavant. Whew! All right. Now that we got the ad reads out of the way, let's get down to business. I'm currently enjoying my only day off of the week to bring you guys some hot, fresh shit. So, I hope you don't mind if I am partaking in a adult beverage or two while I'm doing it. Please don't judge. Or if you do, at least chirp me out so I can actually make fun of you on the show for doing it. Why the fuck not? And in case you are wondering what I'm drinking, I've got, because every king deserves his crown, I have a little Crown and Coke pop-in. And I also got a beer. I just tried this new beer from Mill Street Brewery, and not an endorsement, and it's really fucking good. It's Mill Street Blue Wave. It's like a Blue Jays special drink, and they released it just new for this season, and fuck, is it an incredible summer drink. When I was buying booze, I was at the store, and I'm just like, I was at the LCBO, which in Canada is the Liquor Control Board of Ontario, and so they are more of the hard alcohol variety, but they do have a small beer section, and so I was going to buy a little bit of Crown, and I wanted some a couple little nice beers to crack things off, because I think having a nice beer on a good hot summer day is kind of really refreshing on your only day off of the week, because you bust your ass so hard and you're bringing a podcast to the world on your day off. I figured it would be nice to have a kind of nice summer beer, and so I kind of took a shot on this one, and I didn't know what I was getting into, but it is fucking a really perfect summer beer. It's like very citrusy, but like not like overpoweringly citrusy. Like where I feel like I could have, if I had like 10 of these, I would be okay. And it's like not like super zesty or tangy. It's just very appropriately citrusy. Now with the Mill Street, usually. Sometimes I get in the mood for their original beer, but I don't feel like I can have too much of them in one sitting. It's very flavorful. It's almost overpoweringly flavorful, and it is an organic, and I do like that kind of those kind of things. Sometimes organic drinks and food. But this one, it's just like, I can't have 10 Sleeman's organic original. I could have 10 of these easily, and it's a terrific summer drink. I find that the original organic lager, it's like kind of like if I'm going to be having something that thick, I would rather just have a stout instead. And, it's kind of like, it tastes like it should be less thick, but it drinks very thick. So I would rather just have like a Irish cream ale instead. And since the density is very close. So with this one, I think it really strikes a nice balance of light and subtle, organic, so try it out. 4.8% alcohol by volume. I'm going to finish my Crown and Coke first before I crack into it, but I did have some last night, and I was quite impressed. I was quite impressed by the taste, So cheers to me. Now, yes, I had a very important decision to make before I started doing this podcast, and maybe I should throw this out to you, and you can decide whether I made the right call or not. So I had a decision between arguing on Twitter with some chud idiot, or doing a podcast. So I was like really torn. I'm just like, do I do a podcast, or do I argue in 200 characters per tweet with someone whose mind isn't going to be changed anyways? And so I chose the pod, I guess. Shame on me if that's a wrong decision. Maybe I could have had a life-changing Twitter argument, and I'm thinking I want to throw this out to you guys before I actually do it. Okay, how about since the Joe Rogan podcast is so popular, I thought about, emulating his current form right now, and I was thinking about instead of doing TWA2K, I'm gonna do the Strawman Creating Experience, because that's what the fucking the Joe Rogan show is now turned into, where this dude just sits around and thinks about like the most extreme example of the whatever ideology he's against at the moment, and then tries to broaden that as if that's streamlined thinking, which that must be hard to do. It must be difficult to strain your brain to think about the something you can't even really come up with some caricature that you can't even really come up with examples for, and pretending like that's 50% of what you're arguing against. So that must be really cool to do, and people must like that because people like shit. So let me know what you think. Do you think I should do like a Strawman Creating Experience? Maybe I could just do an episode like in character where where I just go, hey, I heard a lot of people, a lot of people are, they're pink haired and they got like a nose ring and tattoos and, they're trying to teach your kids when they're 4 years old that, about pansexualism and where we can just go on like that for a whole episode. I might not be able to do that for the entire episode. Like, I think having to portray that type of character for a full hour, that might be beyond what I'm willing to go through for the TWA2K audience. But if you would like me to do that, maybe we could do that. Hey, I'm always for sale as long as it's in good fun and only for one episode, I guess. And the best way to get this show out there is to share it. I don't like many people. I do not make friends well, and I like to keep my circles small. I don't know. I bet you literally all you people who are listening right now have a bigger audience than me. You just don't happen to be podcasting or anything. So do me a favor, like it, share it with somebody, because that's the fuck the internet is about, man. This shit is free, and we're doing this for free. Fucking drop me a line here. That's the best way to get this shit off and popping and to get videos happening. Once I start having an income stream coming in from this, then we can really get the ball rolling, because this is great to do. It's fun to do, and I love you guys that love to listen to this. And like moving on. Man, shit is getting expensive. And I don't blame Justin Trudeau for it. Simply having a conservative or having somebody in office that I would have preferred would not have prevented it. See, I don't think that way because I'm not a complete ideologically biased moron. So, man, but the inflation costs are getting just so nuts. My amount of free income and disposable income is just crazy. So yesterday, I was at work. I've been working 6 days a week, and like over 10-hour shifts. And so I have a crew come in with me on Saturdays for the extra day to get a head start for the week ahead. So I was gonna do my podcast after I was done, actually, but I was just too fucking pooped, too pooped from work, and just clocked out. Had a nice little nap though. But we decided to get to order some food for our break, and the restaurant that was delivering to us, since we got delivery from a delivery service, we ordered some Popeye's chicken, right? And it took it was there pretty quickly, and but the fucking price with I did a 15% tip, right? And so the price came to fucking $69, like $70, $70, and we got a 12-piece meal with 2 sides, 6 biscuits, and we also got a 2-liter of Coke, and so after the delivery service fee, it was like $54 before the delivery fee. Like, holy shit, man. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen, but like, I mean, something's gotta give because there's literally like no fucking breathing room now. I'm paying like more to live, and you know, I actually just moved to a new spot, and the place is incredible. It's great, but I'm paying more, and you're paying more for everything. And $70 for a fucking for Popeye's delivery for a fucking 12-piece of chicken. And for our American audience, like, I mean, the Canadian dollar is like 30% cheaper, so you know, bear that in mind. So you know, it's so like shave 25% on it, and that's what it would be in the United States. So like, you know, I would have been upset, like, but we're splitting on it. Okay. So, but the thing that was really good about it is, when it came, it was fresh as fuck. And I seen the bag of it, and I'm just like, this is, and I seen steam coming from the bag, and I'm like, all right, you know, we just paid, $70 for some, Popeyes, but looks like it's gonna be it looks like it's gonna be nice. So and it was. It's nice getting just fresh food. I hate when you especially spending a lot like of money on it with the delivery service included and all these inflation adjustments, that the least you could do is get like get a fresh batch, and it was really fresh. So you know, At least there was that. And yeah, so, you know, my whole thing, and I have a way of kind of operating on the internet so that I'm not so that I'm avoiding getting into long-winded debates. So what I do is I like open up Twitter, I piss people off on there, then I log off of Twitter, and then I open up Facebook, and then I piss people off on there, and then I log off of Facebook, and then I open up my Reddit, and then I piss people off on there, and then I log off. I just think like social media is just like not a forum for debating, especially on Twitter, and where you got to operate within such compact like thought bubbles that it's really quite the endeavor to try and counter people's bullshit. You know, you can't just if I'm gonna get in an argument with somebody, it has to be on Facebook or Reddit, because you know, some people's lines of thinking are just so demented that it doesn't even map onto reality. It's just so when you're talking with someone who's just like experiencing a alternative reality, that, you know, that requires a few more than 250 characters. So what have we got for you on the show today? Okay, let's we're gonna get into a couple of small topics. We're gonna get into kind of like a grab bag of small topics that I'm gonna talk about just off the cuff. After that, we're going to do some Tales from the Crypto, and then I got a small, quick little story time. We got a story to cap off the episode. So that's what we got in store for the TWA2K 21st edition, 21st episode. Dropping the eppies like bombs. Okay. So, now Elon Musk kind of tweeted out something about his purchase of Twitter. Now, what was it that he tweeted out among the likes? Is that he's doing a investigation into the amount of bots that are actually on Twitter, and whether they're over under 5% and yada yada yada. I'm not buying it. Okay, I think do you know why I actually think he's putting out this hesitancy right now? Is because of the market. I'm a follow the paper trail type of guy, and you will usually see what the fuck is going on. And I just think that market conditions, his investments in Doge and Bitcoin, Tesla has been sliding recently. It's just the whole market's bad. Like, everybody wants to, oh yeah, this because crypto sucks and this and that. Crypto has its issues, and there are still very important issues in crypto. But the market just sucks. Like Tesla, stock is dropping. There's just this bearish sentiment. But the upside is that I think things, at least in my life and around me, seem to kind of slowly, not slowly, but they're like kind of just getting to normal right now. Like where we're finally out of this kind of COVID the sacrifices we were making for COVID, and finally people are starting to live their lives. Everybody by now has had enough opportunity to take whatever precautions they wished to take, and now this is the first time I've seen since pre-pandemic, shit ton of traffic jams wherever I go in Toronto, and things are busy again, and it hasn't been this way for 3 years now. So we're going to concerts. Concerts are up. I guess Live Nation reported a 40% increase in concert ticket sales from now to 2019. So now we have 40% more than we did in 2019, and it kind of seems like things will, unless there's going to be a nuclear war, that things will kind of eventually kind of normalize. So these inflationary things, we'll see if they go back to normal. But if prices do not go back to normal, then you need to ask for a fucking raise if you've been at a job for a while, because it seems like the prices everywhere for everything are skyrocketing. So if you're a valuable employee to your company, and the job market is popping too. People are looking for talent, and looking for good workers. So don't sell yourself short out there. If you've been at a job for a while, or if you bust your chops and you do good in whatever industry you're in, the next couple years or so, make sure you're not settling for second best, or make sure you're not settling for less money and selling yourself short. God, I'm totally fucking Julian Jr. over here with with my whiskey and Coke. But hey, that's me on my weekends. I work my ass off, and I usually always work 6 days a week, but on my weekends, I pretty much have a have a whiskey and Coke glued to my hand, like I'm literally the stereotype from from Trailer Park Boys. Now on the thing with Twitter, there's another thing that I got a improvement for. Now, I did lay out on I think it was TWA2K 19. You can check the descriptions for something about 5 improvements for Twitter. I got another Twitter improvement. Now, this one's kind of a little out there, and maybe just kind of we would need to do a little feeler on this before we do it. Maybe a beta test or something. So, how about you are only allowed to block people for acceptable reasons on Twitter? How about that? How about there's like a block panel where we would have people, and it's like and they review blocks, and my whole thing is, as if you have listened to my suggestions for the prior Twitter, for the prior episodes on suggestions for improving Twitter, I don't think bots should be allowed to, or algorithms should be allowed to determine what is appropriate for a ban, unless it's like, this word automatic red flag or that word automatic red flag. And even then, I think you should still go over it and figure out the context. But I don't think that that robots or algorithms should be able to decide what merits a block or not. So I would have, you have to have people who are going over this and figuring out if these things merit bannings, and maybe we should do the same for blocking. Maybe blocks and bans say, I want to block somebody, and it's just constantly trying to spam or pretend they're someone they're not, or something like, or if I'm like offended by them like constantly harassing my page, I say, hey, this is they keep harassing my page, can I block them? And yeah, that would be an acceptable reason, and you go over it. They whoever's going over it would make sure, oh yes, this checks, this person, this guy is harassing. He's not just making an off the cuff comment that you don't agree with. And as far as the fucking percentage of bots goes, like well over 5% of whoever's following me are either bots or spam accounts. I would suggest it's probably closer to like 25% of things who follow me are not actual accounts. Now, it would depend on what you say your definition of a bot exactly is. But a bot account is like somebody with a I would say like John 3165824, like that would be like, and it's clearly not used by this person. He's not a real person. He's pretending to be someone else, and they're just subscribing so that they can get in my feed. But who knows and who it is, or who it's not a real person. That's why in my prior video I suggested the idea of KYC for social media platforms, and that I would consider that a bot, or if you want to call it a spam account, sure, but spam accounts or bots or burners, I guess that would be a burner. I would think burners should be blocked also. Unless you can prove you're an actual person, then you shouldn't. Then you can just follow in fucking incognito mode, or open up in search on Twitter without being a person that is able to speak. So maybe that's what Twitter has to roll with. They need to get a crew of like, I don't know exactly how much how much instances of these events occurring, like people wanting to report accounts or something, or block people that you would incur throughout the course of a day. But I'm talking about, let's say 100 to 1,000 employees that are responsible and have this have a framework to operate on, and go through the context of the tweet that is in question, or whatever activity is in question, and be able to decide whether or not that what's happening merits blocking, suspension, etc., etc. All right, so now moving on. Now, a lot of people have asked me for my cover pictures. They've noticed in my cover pictures that I always have the, or I often have the chin diaper thing going on, and like seriously, I just like don't even notice it's on sometimes. Like it's just I'm just such a I take the bus now, so I had to say to save some money to invest in crypto, and to just have the available liquidity and available funds. And so I just saw in our bus system in Canada requires that you wear a face mask at least until I think June 6th or something. They had the ban or not banned but mandate in, and so I just saw I always kind of have it on, and like the thing is I don't even like I just have it on my chin, and then someone I go in a store and I know they want it and I put it on, or and they have the notice at the store. Like I'm not about the drama. If you want me to wear one, I'll have it. If you don't want me to wear one, I would prefer not to. But I mean, I get it. And often, like, I just don't even realize that I have it on. And so, like, I'll take these pictures and, I was like, oh, fuck, I just got a chin diaper rocking. And, you know what? It's just, it's not a big deal for me. It hasn't been. And now I've noticed that just people are kind of, the summertime, the numbers are going down and people are kind of just over it now. And if you're over it, that's cool. If you want me to wear one, that's cool. I know that as I was going in to get my taxes done, that one of the main accountant had gotten COVID and was sick for a couple weeks, and so I noticed when I was going in to hand my taxes in that they were very on the edge about COVID, and they had the notice on the door being please make sure to wear your mask. And I'm like, oh, that's strange. You don't see much of those notices around unless people have forgotten to take them off their doors. And I'm just like, okay, I'll wear it. And they were very, they had the gloves on inside, and everybody was wearing the mask and stuff. And and so. And I used a pen to sign to sign my signature, and they had me keep the pen. And I'm like, okay, I can always use extra pens. And so like, oh yeah, that was weird. And then the actual head accountant called to ask me questions about my taxes. And he had mentioned that he did get about with COVID. So, that's why I don't question these things. I don't, it's a very extreme situation that we have been in. And, while I think that we should live our lives, we should start living our lives more normal, and that how the government handled COVID was not anything that they should be bragging about, in terms of the discriminatory lockdowns based on what they merited as essential. Well, I have my gripes with that. I, by and large, think that it was a extreme situation, and it helped us to get a leg up and get a head start on throwing a lot of money and coming up with solutions to make our lives better and to save the most amount of lives. And I absolutely do not have a problem with that. And if you do, you can fuck off. Man, and I don't know how familiar you guys are with the GTA area, but there's just one thing I've noticed about watching the news in Toronto, and I put it on every now and then. For the most part, I by and large get my news online. I don't really care for the performative aspects of news, and the fact that they push narratives in news and try and frame things a certain way, and it's really annoying. But I mean, that being said, I don't think the news really just bold-faced lies to you, okay, so for these people who don't believe anything, well, so that the news says, or think everything's a conspiracy. So what isn't a conspiracy? So when the news comes on and they said, hey, there's a shooting on this Ave and that street, and 2 people are dead. So is that made up, or do they just make up the things that you don't like? Because like where do you draw the line? Why are they just making stuff up every night? Oh yeah, here let's like you're painting a picture. Oh, let's have a raping over here and a violent assault in downtown, and let's and like so yeah, where I like that's the thing that boggles my mind about conspiracy people is that they only seem to be making the stuff up that's convenient for you to not like. And so, yes, when I turn on the news and see that there's something happening, that there's a shooting or a holdup or a stabbing, I believe that shit. So what? The doctors are saying, yes, we received a gunshot wound victim, but to say, hey, we received a COVID patient, and you don't believe that. So what's the difference? The only difference is that you don't want to believe the one thing isn't real. Now, the one thing that I've noticed about mischievous behavior or terrible human behavior, I should say. Mischievous is kind of a euphemism. But about, killings and stabbings is that literally every time I see a fucking story is like, oh, something happened in downtown, there's literally a worse story that day about Brampton. And it's just getting ridiculous at this point where you'll just... Like, Brampton is like, you'll see something happens in Toronto, and Brampton's like, hold my beer. It's like, what? We got a double shooting, and a bank robbery. Hold my beer. I can do better. And literally, like, every day you'll go through a 5-day weekday, and then the majority of the worst fucking shit that happened that day The worst of the worst shit would be the from the Brampton area, and my one friend who grew up in the Brampton. Like, I have two friends who've grown up in the Brampton area, and they both call it the Florida of Canada, which, I mean, you know, is gold. That explains all that you need to say. It's like when you see in the United States crackhead, crackhead, sniffs baby formula and is crawling on the Walmart floor in a crab walk naked. There's like a fucking 50% chance that's a Florida story, right? And Brampton is basically, granted, all things, we are, Canada is not as hardcore as America, so the things that happened are a little bit less fucked up, but every fucking day I'm like, it's like, it's not even a joke anymore, where I would just go, wonder what Brampton has to say about this, about the stabbing in downtown Toronto. And they usually do. Damn, this beer's good. So the other thing that I've noticed, and let me couch this first by saying that I will likely vote for Doug Ford at the upcoming election. All things considered, by and large, I think he's probably the best option. Not that he is the best thing you could possibly think of to be a premier for Ontario. He's the better of the options available. And, Doug Ford, he's all right. He's okay. But, he just, like, I got this vibe from him, and I want you to let me know if I'm onto something over here. Now, Doug Ford, to me, looks like the type of guy that would sell you a broken vacuum cleaner to your door. Like, he's got this sadistic kind of smile where he's like showing all his teeth, and it's like he's like kind of getting electrocuted trying to smile. It's like not a very natural smile. He's like, yeah, I would start biting your fucking neck if I had if I had the opportunity to. It's such like a begrudging smile. So you all know my views on politics, and that our current political systems, they don't do much for us, and it's not much of an option to choose between one idiot or another. But of the morons that I have available to choose from that will not do exactly what I would like them to do, Doug Ford is probably the best of those two options. So those are my political takes for the day. Now, I know this is a more popular topic. You guys like to hear me talk about this one, and it's been a while. So, without further ado, let's get into it. This is Tales from the Crypt-OOOO! Tales from the Crypto. How's it going, everybody? There's blood in the streets. There's lots of fucking red out there. It's been crazy. It's been unexpected, actually. I did not expect the crypto, and I think a lot of people were caught off guard. I know I had, if I had known that that crypto would have kind of plateaued at the $3 trillion mark and not made much of a move up after that, I definitely would have I definitely would have had a different strategy, but my current strategy, and not a lot has changed between what I have been telling you and what is going on right now. I'm kind of just waiting for my eggs to hatch right now, and the weird thing is that I had I had a backup plan where I was gonna make sure I was okay in case, I knew the Ripple case would take some time to get up, and I didn't know if there would be another move up to maybe if crypto would make a move up to the $5 trillion range, and it just kind of plateaued and started pulling back, and I wanted to be safe in what I did with making sure I wasn't over leveraged in XRP, and that in case crypto made a move up to the $5 trillion range, that we wouldn't miss out on some potential gains. Now, so before my most popular assets were number one, we went over it before. Number one, 70% of my portfolio, now probably closer to 75%, is in XRP. And then we've got SafeMoon at number 2, which has been taking a shit kicking lately. And, I guess it's to be expected. I didn't buy the dip, but it's because I got my SafeMoon at pretty low and pretty cheap prices. I know this wasn't the case for a lot of people. Like, if you bought high, then I'm sure you should be buying the dip right now. But I think what SafeMoon did is that they went in a completely other direction. Like they did an extreme pivot, but I kind of don't mind the pivot they made, and it's gonna take a little bit longer for the new vision to take over. And I would have been comfortable with going with their last strategy in being a depreciating coin, but now I can see the vision that John Caroni has, in that he wants it to be, he wants to do things so that SafeMoon is very utilized and popular, and that they can create an exchange and be liquid and attract people to work with them. And it's going to take a while longer, but I'm not scared enough of now. Had I known that they would have reduced the burn rate, that they would have reduced the reflections and all that shit. If I had known that was going to be the case, would my investing have been different? Yes, I would have waited a lot longer to hit my my marks in SafeMoon. But I hit the mark that I wanted to. I have the amount of coins that that I had a goal for, and they made a pivot, and I could have sold. I didn't. I'm on board. I'm on board with what they're trying to do, and it's a great opportunity. If you bought too high, buy the dip. Buy the dip right now. It's only gonna help out your dollar cost average, and I don't think SafeMoon's going away anytime in the near future. It's been disappointing. It's been a little bit of a setback, and but it's hard to analyze something and say, okay, maybe we gotta be better and do something in a different direction, and that maybe all where the crypto market is going. We have to do the right things and make the right partnership, and I'm interested to see where this will go. I'm a little skeptical, mind you, but I'm willing to see this out, and we'll see where it goes from here. It will be nice once we can see what it does when the market's thriving as opposed to, struggling to get along. Now, next up, so SafeMoon, so XRP, 70 to 75% of my portfolio. SafeMoon's coming in at 2. I have HBAR at 3, and at 4 I have XDC. And I'm really focused on stuffing my bags with XDC right now. It's at a really good rate, at a really good value. I just recently made another purchase. Like, I can't not buy anything on the dip. When there's these sorts of dips in the market, like, by and large my positions are set, but you don't want to miss out on buying during the dip and lowering that dollar cost average. And I did that with XDC. Now, by and large my positions are solidified, but I felt that was one that I needed to beef up, and I'm gonna keep beefing it up because I think it kind of made a nice little run there, and was like holding its value while everything was kind of going in the shitter. So I think that that XDC is going to be prime for a breakout. Like, if 3 trillion is our cap for speculation, then a speculative asset class, then pretty much we're waiting until Ripple gets legal clarity for utility to start to take off. And since it doesn't seem like we're gonna have a bull market until that happens, just my opinion, while we're in these dips, it's important to stock up on your blue chips, and HBAR and XDC are kind of what I'm looking into beefing up in my portfolio over the next couple months. So, it's weird because I'm not really all that concerned or worried about the bear market, mostly because I wasn't trying to quick flip anything. I think if you were trying to I was expecting a bull market. I was expecting, Bitcoin to, go to 75K. I didn't think it would hit 100. I think Bitcoin would take like some time to hit 100. But it's like this has only solidified my thinking in that speculation has hit a cap, and that utility market is what's going to send the total crypto market cap really flying. And once that can take over, then we're going to start to see the bull market start to really run. So that's what I was prepared for. That's what I was 75% prepared for. Anyways, so but that's how I do. Like, I'm not, if I think something is a good investment, it's for the long haul. And I have, maybe 15 to 20% of my portfolio would be into something that is a quick flip that can pop, or 5% of my portfolio and something that can really, that is you're trying to quick flip it. Nothing more. I actually did end up just buying $100 worth of Luna at the dirt cheap price. I think I got like 200,000 Luna for like $100 or something. So why not? That's just too much of a. It's too much of a, yeah, okay, maybe it fucking dead cat bounces to $1 or some shit, or even a penny, and, and we're laughing. But, it's nothing that I'm taking really seriously. So let's talk about that for the time being. Is that the whole Luna thing and the whole, like, everybody thought the market was just going to keep going and going and going, but there's all these fundamentals of the crypto market that are a little concerning, and it's that the stable coins, or when stable coins aren't pegged to the US dollar, or they're not backed by actual assets. Like, somebody shared a really great meme on Twitter the other day where it was just like how Luna actually works, and it was like a power bar, but it's plugged into itself. And it's like the crypto version of that, where it's like, so they had to sell off like 40,000 of Bitcoin in order to keep the UST pegged to the actual dollar. And it was just this circular cycle of destruction, where the contributing factors of inflation and the pullback in the market kind of like shined a light on this discrepancy that was happening within Luna. And so Tether is also starting to fluctuate is another not so stable coin. Now, I use a lot of Tether, which is disconcerting. But I don't stake it. Usually, the longest I use Tether for is to just I have cash in Canadian and I flip it for another asset. So the longest that I'm holding a stable coin for is for like, a minute tops, because I, by and large, want my shit onto crypto. And while I was holding, I was actually holding Tether for a little bit when I was waiting for like a buy opportunity. But I think it's just going to be about CBDCs going forward, because with all these things, like, okay, it's cute to say like it's a stable coin, but really, if it's not backed by an actual dollar, then really it's not a stable coin, and it can be volatile. It can go kaputs, like, if it's not actually backed by a dollar. Now, dollars can go kaputs, as we've seen with the ruble and what's happened in Russia, but that's a lot more of a that's a lot less of a risk of going crap than than a CBDC, a central bank digital currency that's actually backed by by a physical dollar, right? So, hey, a lot of people, hey, what the fuck, I thought crypto was gonna, be here to stay. I thought crypto was going up. Hey, I didn't say that I was bullish on all of crypto. But, all I can say is I'm still bullish on my assets, and I'm more bullish on my assets. What I was worried about in investing in XRP was that my main worry was that, Bitcoin and Ethereum would catch up, in that they would get so mass adopted, while the delays in the Ripple case were continuing, that they would have such a head start with regulatory clarity that and they would get mass adopted, that Ripple would and XRP would find itself behind. But that is not the case right now. Right now, despite having the time advantage and the advantage of not having your legitimacy questioned by the Securities an exchange commission. Despite all this, Ripple is still ahead of the pack, and I couldn't and I wouldn't invest in anything else besides XRP. Certainly not a large portion of money. Well, let me rephrase that. I wouldn't invest in anything that's not like in ISO 20022 or coin, or like HBAR or something. Now, Ripple pulled back, and I think this market is a lot more attached to this Ripple case than we want to believe. And XRP pulled back a lot, and I think we don't want to, especially Bitcoin, Ethereum maxis don't want to admit it, but if Ripple had legal clarity and was able to do what it could do in the market, that we would have a much better market, and the disaster with Luna would have been mitigated a lot. And because XRP would be injecting so much more market cap. So much more market would be available into crypto that everything else would gain residual effects from that, and trickle down effects from that, and it would have made this a lot less impactful. This pullback would have been a lot less impactful, but it seems like as the dust settles and as the smoke clears, that really all signs are pointing to XRP, and we've had that pullback last year, and that was all. I was worried a lot more about that one, to be honest. This one is just like the meme where somebody's on the roller coaster and they've done that ride 100 times, and they're stone faced through it. Like that's me right now, and I'm just strategically buying the dips on what I feel is necessary to beef up in my portfolio, and I'm sticking to ISO and HBAR, and I got all my other shit taken care of. Now, we'll probably start to see a build up to the conclusion of the Ripple case, I think. So, I mean, getting out while the getting's good. That's all that's the advice I can say. And so the bad news of the case was the time length, and that the judge kind of threw the SEC a bone time-wise, and that they're going to be, they're going to have the time that they need. But Ripple won the major legal, they're still trying to get the Hinman speech, but the SEC keeps fighting it and trying to not cough it up. So you figure there's going to be a settlement, because these emails truly, if they're really trying so hard not to give them up, and that's their only thing, that they've been trying harder than anything at this case to not give up those emails, and they're still going to have to give it up. And the judge did not allow the SEC to strike the deliberative process privilege. So, the fair notice defense. The fair notice defense. The judge didn't allow the SEC to strike down the fair notice defense. So those are the two most important things of the case. Time, especially in light of the recent, Bitcoin and Ethereum struggles. Time is fine as long as it's not going to be till 2025. All right, I can deal with that. So we won the two major victories in the case, and that's what was the most important. Now, I don't know if you guys seen the CMC tweet, where the CMC tweeted this imposter video game where one of them is an imposter, and they had all these like cryptos lined up. And so then they went on to say that XRP is the imposter and blah, 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 because it's centralized and these other things aren't. And I mean, it's so ridiculous. It's such a ridiculous argument. Like, breaking news, things aren't only one thing completely or the other thing completely. Like, there are usually elements of other things, especially ideas, in themselves. Like, and as far as decentralization goes, like, things that are quantitatively less decentralized, the more liquid that they are. That's just a physical reality. Like, that if something has more liquidity, it's more decentralized. If there's only, let's take an extreme example. Let's say there's 3 coins. Let's say there's a crypto with 3 coins, and there's a crypto with 1 billion coins. Which one is going to be more centralized? It doesn't matter the fucking software involved. The crypto with 3 coins is going to be more centralized because it has the ability to be more centralized. There's only fucking 3 coins, okay? So this whole framing of things that are centralized and decentralized is nothing more than an attempt to paint a broad brush and to use these vague terms to your choosing to try and diminish the something else. So this is used as an attack. So what you do when you're trying to attack something is you take the most gray and you take the most fuzzy things that can be the most subjective distinctions, and then you kind of play those aspects up. And that's exactly what's going on here. And that's the thought process behind this sort of stupid shit. And the CMC had to delete that tweet because it was it was fucking stupid. B, the XR community will fucking destroy your ass if you try and come. You better come correct, okay? And so it's beyond stupid to think this way, okay? It's actually masochistic. The entire industry is struggling to level up because the speculative market has run dry. And XRP would just inject so much value into the crypto industry that nearly all projects would gain residual benefits. This type of thinking is fucking toxic for all of crypto. And that's why I love what Brad Garlinghouse said. Is Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, said that crypto tribalism is what is killing crypto right now. And he's so fucking true, because the fact that people are so BTC maxis are so geared to attack XRP. It's that sort of stupid tribalism is like preventing. You imagine if even the BTC and the ETH people were pissed off that this case is happening, because it's preventing their coins from being able to hit the highs that they're possible. Because if XRP was operating and injecting all of this money into the crypto market, and now all of a sudden we're at 5 billion, all of a sudden 5 trillion, all of a sudden we're at 10 trillion. Do you think that that would be bad for ETH and BTC? No, absolutely not. If the market is greater, that's more dollars that can flow into your coin. So the tribalism is absolutely fucking ridiculous. And like I illustrated with my point on decentralization is that we're really just arguing over the most vague aspects of crypto and not focusing on what actually matters. So, you know what? Go ahead, BTC maxis. Go ahead and keep shitting on XRP. You're only doing it to your own detriment. And, maybe I have something to advise. Maybe instead of Bitcoin pizza, for the next Bitcoin conference. You can have Bitcoin maxi pads, you know, for the maxis to help stop the bleeding. And maybe that'd be a nice promo, you know. I'm an ideas guy, you know. I can come up with good fucking ideas, and maybe that just might be the next stupid promo you're trying to shill, besides some technology that doesn't really work and it takes forever to settle. So right now there's a lot of salt, like the writing is on the goddamn wall. There's a lot of saltiness. Like, how can you be salty when your shit is like, you know, when your shit is number one in the market, like, and if you had everything figured out and you had everything done, it wouldn't even be a question. If Bitcoin was the one, then it would have won already. Okay, but that's not the case, and we just need more liquidity into the market so that everything can thrive. And these stupid petty little spats about the most vague aspects of what's happening in crypto absolutely need to stop, and they help nobody. So one more thing before I finish the episode off with a quick little story, is that people need to stop misrepresenting Nassim Taleb's ideas, okay? If you're going to talk about black swans or you're going to talk about anti-fragility, read his fucking books, for Christ's sake. Like, people talking Luna was not a black swan event. Nassim Taleb was talking about Bitcoin's volatility for a long time, for a couple of years now, and this thing that happened with Luna was completely predictable. It was completely predictable. It was not a black swan event. It was not a black swan event. The black swan, in case you didn't know, is so to our understanding, there were only white swans, and then we thought there were only white swans, and then so we explored a little, and it's like, oh, all of a sudden you find a black swan. You did not expect to find it. And it changes your conceptions of the reality around you, because to your point, to your level of understanding, this thing did not exist until you observed it, which is kind of like a nice little way of bringing quantum mechanics uncertainty principle into kind of investing, and into like a small, like a little analogy that is easy to understand. And so there was also the Coinbase CEO who said that Coinbase is anti-fragile, and this is a complete misrepresentation of Taleb's ideas and anti-fragility. And Black Swan was the first book I read by Taleb, but Anti-Fragile is probably my favorite. And this is a complete distortion of Taleb's work. And Taleb was and Taleb would tell you the same. That crypto is very volatile, and it is. And I would say that the crypto haters right now, they're kind of going on a ticker tape parade. But I do think crypto is here to stay. But the thing with crypto is that there are violent shakeouts. This is not like the stock market where you lose 5 to 10%, you're down. If you're invested in the wrong asset in stocks, you lose 5 to 10%, you're pissed. If you're invested in the wrong asset in crypto, you're done. You're fucking done. You go from 10,000 to fucking $50, okay? that is not anti-fragile. that is very fragile. Okay, and especially considering there's almost 20,000 coins in existence right now. Okay, so this is not now. While the market is there, and if you're invested in the right assets, it can be very profitable. This is this is not a anti-fragile system. And now let's circle back, and this brings me to my point that I want to hammer home is that as the dust settles, as the smoke clears, Ripple and XRP are the answer. They are the answer to legitimize the crypto market, and the longer you try and fight it, the worse it's going to be for all of us. So please stop trying to fucking fight it, okay? And do what's best and stop feeding into these bullshit narratives that are only serving to fuck everyone. Okay, and before I get out of here, let's wind up with a quick little story that now, since this is a podcast is going a little bit longer this day, I'm gonna make this a quick one. There's a longer story I think I'm gonna tell on my next one. So as you know, I grew up in Windsor, and so I frequent Detroit because it's the American border city that is nearest to me, like a half-hour drive away. So one time, me and my friends were at a Tigers game, and we finished, and so we're going and getting a few cheap drinks in downtown Detroit. After the game was done, and so going to this bar, and I'm there, and we've had a few drinks. We had your shitty American beer on tap, which is somehow even shittier on tap than it is in the fucking cans and bottles, so I go to the lady, and I want a taxi, and I go to the lady, and I'm just like, hey, can I get a cab? And she's just like, a cab? Why do you need a cab for? And I'm just like, to go to give me a ride to where I need to go. And she's like, a cab? And I'm just like, yeah, a cab. And it was like, why do you want a cab? And I'm just like, to give me a ride. And she's like, oh, a taxi. It's like, a taxi? It's like, oh, a cab, but not a cap. She thought I was saying fucking cop. How does cab sound like cop? Okay? I talk like the people on fucking TV. I don't have a shred of any sort of fucking accent. I'm talking like every single fucking news program that has ever been invented in the United States of America in mainstream media. I have never heard someone say cab and think it is cop. There is two letters that are completely fucking different. Do people go around saying they need a cap? Who fucking says that shit? It's not like, I'm only speaking the language that fucking all of your Hollywood films, all of your mainstream media, all of your media speaks. It's like there's this, there are like these rural areas in America that like kind of speak with a southernness to them, and sure, that's cool, but I'm not speaking like that. Like, I speak without an accent in the normal way that literally everyone in the world speaks. Sorry, I did not speak your hillbilly dialect, but there's no way that, unless you're completely stupid, that me talking the way that I'm talking was trying to say a cop while I was saying cab. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put a pin in it there. That was the World According to Kyle podcast. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you on the next one.